Welcome to the EBPL podcast, brought to you by the East Brunswick Public Library. My name is Melissa Hozik, the adult programming librarian here at EBPL, and I will be your host for today's episode. We are known as our community's living room, and today we are helping spotlight one of our East Brunswick organizations. Today I am joined by Adam Neary, the executive producer and vice president of Playhouse 22. Welcome, Adam.
Hello, Melissa. How are you?
I'm doing well, and thank you for joining us today. Can you tell us a little bit more about Playhouse 22 and how it was founded?
Playhouse 22 has been around as the East Brunswick Community Players for more than 63 years. Our real name is the East Brunswick Community Players, and after 22 years, the Community Players moved into our first official home, which was Playhouse 22, located at 210 Dunham's Corner Road. We were there until 2015 before we moved into the East Brunswick Community Arts Center in 2019. And the name East Brunswick Community Players was still very long and wonky, but we decided to stick with Playhouse 22 because it was best known in our community. And we've been performing at the Community Arts Center since 2009.
What types of shows and performances does the company focus on?
We do a whole gambit of shows. We do traditional musicals like Guys and Dolls in 1776, some more modern classics like The Producers, and if you want to call Rent modern, even though it's now 25 years old. And then we do some dramas and comedies. We've been doing an annual production of A Christmas Carol since 1994. Last year, because of the pandemic, we showed an encore video presentation of the 2019 production, so we keep our record going that we do our own production of A Christmas Carol. We do smaller shows. We do special events ranging from cabaret nights to play readings. We do theater festivals. We did one recently back in early August that had 9 hours of live theater, music, some rock music, original works, a whole bunch of stuff. So we have a wide variety of different types of programming for a greater audience.
I see that EBTV highlighted some of your theater festival. Let's take a listen.
That door, I didn't know they did that anymore. Who knew we owned 8,000 salad plates? For years I've grown these empty halls. Why have a ballroom with no balls? Finally they're open.
We're here today with Adam Neary and Playhouse 22 for our event, Theater Fest 21, at the Community Arts Center. Hey Adam, it's a beautiful day for an event.
Yes, it is.
We're finally out of our virtual environment, and we have live music and performances going on. Can you tell us a little bit about the event and what it was all about and how you came to this idea?
Sounds good. Kim, this is a 9-hour theater festival celebrating the return of live theater. We've been doing music and one acts, and we have Wild West Review sponsored by Period Productions, and it's just a day to celebrate live theater coming back. And it's been a year and a half of us, she said, cooped up at home, and now we're just getting out, getting some fresh air, enjoying some sun, and having some live theater. And it was done courtesy of the funding from the Arts Coalition. So this has been a great partnership between the two of us.
The wind has blown the weather vane around. I'll show you if I can. No matter what the circumstance, for one thing I'm renowned. My character is spick and span. I'm practically perfect in every way. Practically perfect, so people say.
Joining me is Elizabeth Raza, who has performed a number of songs. And tell us what you performed today.
Today I performed with my friend Jeff Price, the How Could I Ever Know duet from The Secret Garden, Practically Perfect from Mary Poppins, and Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, also from Mary Poppins. And later I will be singing For Good from Wicked with Marissa Marciano.
Well, thank you for being here today, and we look forward to seeing future performances either on this stage or the indoor stage.
I have spoken, for I fear everyone I've ever loved is here within these walls. I'm sorry, secret siren, but I'm blocking out your calls. I've had my adventure, I don't need something new. I'm afraid of what I'm risking if I follow you into the unknown, into the unknown, into the unknown.
how do performers become involved?
We always have open auditions for any one of our shows. We're also not only looking for performers, we're always looking for backstage talent, technical crew, scenic painters, costumers. I mean, myself, I have not been on stage in many, many, many years. This is my 32nd year with the group. We try to encourage talent on stage, of which I have none of. We're always looking for different types of talents, whether they're on stage, backstage. And it's very simple. Go to our website, playhouse22.org. You can go to our social media feeds like Facebook and Instagram and just find out about our theater. And we're all volunteers, so there's always a place for anybody. Even if you don't have any theatrical talent, we're always looking for people to help out.
If people want to attend performances, how can they find out more information?
It's just said, our website, Playhouse22, is always up to date. We have online ticket sales. You can call our box office at 732-254-3939 and call and place an order for tickets. Right now, because of the pandemic, we are not doing in-person ticket sales, but that may change in the next couple weeks, months. That's still yet to be determined. But tickets are always affordable. They're available on our website. You can call our box office, or you can join our email list. You always get information about any one of our shows.
Adam, thank you so much for joining us today and helping us spotlight Playhouse 22.
My pleasure.
Today, I am joined by Liti Haramati, the Vice Chair of the East Brunswick Environmental Commission and the Secretary of the Friends of the East Brunswick Environmental Commission. Welcome, Liti.
Glad to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
Can you tell us about how the Friends of the East Brunswick Environmental Commission began?
The Friends of the East Brunswick Environmental Commission is a non-profit organization which we call an arm of the Environmental Commission. The idea to start a non-profit was suggested in 2005 for two reasons. The most important one was to get more people involved in environmental projects in town. The Environmental Commission is only 9 members, and of course, for all our projects and events, we always need more people. The Friends, as a nonprofit organization, can actually raise funds to help support our projects.
What types of events does the group host throughout the community?
One thing we do is we started and we manage the East Brunswick Community Garden. The garden first opened in 2009 with 80 plots and doubled in size that same year. It allows residents to grow their own food and whatever they want. And really, it's a garden, but it's also a community, and there's a lot of old and new friendships that formed in the garden. Won several awards over the years and was part of a Rutgers study on community gardens. We have a sister garden in Brunswick East in Melbourne, Australia, that we're very happy to have friends on the other side of the globe. Another project that's ongoing is our free cycling event. Free cycling is an environmentally responsible treasure hunt. We have free cycling events twice a year, one in the fall and one in the spring, where anyone can bring items that they don't need anymore and pick up anything they want. Free cycling takes place usually at the parking lot of the East Brunswick Community Arts Center. The last two we weren't able to do in person, so they were townwide, curbside events. Everybody set up in their own driveway or yard, more like a garage sale. We hope this fall, the next one is planned for September 25th. We hope to be able to do it in person. We rely on help of volunteers. We always have East Brunswick High School and Rutgers students helping, and also members of the community. So stay tuned, and hopefully we'll see you in the next recycling event. Other things we do, one is our salamander protection project. We have one remaining population of spotted salamanders in East Brunswick, and they live most of the year right behind the baseball fields. But in the spring, they migrate to the vernal pools, which is where they breed. It's been almost 20 years that every rainy night in the early spring, the East Brunswick and South Brunswick police blocks the road on both sides, and that allows the amphibians to cross safely, and it allows people to come and see them. This project started when Dave Moskowitz, who's the chairperson of the Environmental Commission, found some salamanders that unfortunately had an accident with a car, and the salamanders always lose. We know that closing the road really helps because we're seeing more and more young salamanders, and we see some frog species that haven't been seen in the area for many years. I call it the biggest party in town. You go out there, it's rainy, it's cold, and it's wonderful. Another thing we do, also looking at wildlife, moth nights take place in different town parks at night. We invite people to come out at night and discover nighttime nature. When we say we're looking at moths, people usually smile because they don't want to laugh at us. But if you ask anyone who's been to a moth night, they'll tell you that many moths are more beautiful than most butterflies. They're very important to the ecosystem.
EBTV actually covered this year's Moth Night. Let's take a listen.
About 12 or 13 years ago, Dr. Dave Moskowitz, who's the chairperson of the Environmental Commission, thought that it would be really fun for township residents to come and see things that we don't usually see because they fly out at night, and using real entomological equipment and gear and what we call light traps, which are special lights that attract them. And we started setting up in different township parks, here, Butterfly Park, other parks, and invite people to come and see what's flying at night. And it was a great success. And a lot of people came and came back and came again and had a lot of fun. And Dave and I just talked and we said, this is so much fun for everybody. We want to bring it out to even more people. Let's do something in all of New Jersey, one moth night in all of New Jersey. And then we said, why keep it just in New Jersey? Let's do something all over the country. And from that idea, we now have a whole week, which is always the last full week of July. There are over 2,000 events that are registered in 70 countries. So we're really all over the world.
I've been doing moth nights since I was around 8 years old, so it's a very time-honored tradition for me. And what we do here is we put up some white sheets along with some UV lights. It attracts moths and other bugs, and we get to have the chance to look at them all and study them. It's actually been quite a while since I've been here. The past couple of times in EB we've been rained out. Last year, obviously, there was COVID. And really, but just in general, I'd say just the sheer amount of bugs here. I've always loved bugs since I was a little kid. And there's just so many, it's impossible to resist. I could even say I'm like a moth drawn to the light. If you haven't been, I cannot recommend it enough. It is a wonderful experience that you should at least try once, and then I'm sure you'll get hooked.
Together with the East Brunswick Public Library, we have a series of lectures that we call Option Green, and they're always very interesting. They are all environmental topics. They range from very local, like the salamanders, to global issues like climate change. Option Green, the series, won Environmental Achievement Award from the Association of New Jersey Environmental Commission, which we're very proud. Other projects in the past that, if there's interest, we may run them again, such as Beautiful East Brunswick Photo Contest. We had worm composting workshops, and we actually donated some composters to town schools. We ran birding days twice a year, going out to different sites in town and counting bird species, and a few other things.
Are there any national initiatives about sustainability and the environment that the Friends is a part of?
We have a global project. Our local moth nights in East Brunswick grew to be a global citizen science project. We just celebrated the 10th year. We have participants from over 90 countries. Thousands of people participated this year. We're asking people to either just find an outdoor light where they can observe and take pictures, or join a public event organized usually by museums or parks and document what's flying. This really adds to our knowledge of the natural world. As I always say, we're in a race right now to document what's there because it's already changing. So that's one project that started right here in East Brunswick, and it's all over the world now.
If someone is inspired and cares about the environment and sustainability, how do they become a member?
Just go to our website, friendsebec.com, and sign up. And membership is always free. You're more than welcome to join our Facebook group. It's called the Group for the Friends of the East Brunswick Environmental Commission. We're also on Twitter, and you can find us, Friends EBC, and you can always email us through the website.
Liti, thank you so much for helping us spotlight the Friends of the East Brunswick Environmental Commission.
Thank you, Melissa, for having me, and I hope to see many more people taking part of our projects and events.
Today I am joined by Kim Canetta, the president of the East Brunswick Arts Coalition. Welcome, Kim.
Hi, nice to be here.
Can you tell us about how the East Brunswick Arts Coalition was founded?
The East Brunswick Arts Coalition was founded back in 2019 to have an organization that served as an umbrella to the 5 arts organizations we have in town. To give you some background on the organization itself, it was an idea by Mayor Brad Cohen to have the coalition be more of the funding aspect of arts and culture in town than actually putting together programming. So we support 5 organizations: the East Brunswick Museum, Historic Society, Arts Commission, Human Relations Council, and Playhouse 22.
What types of events has the coalition held to promote the humanities and the arts in East Brunswick?
After we were founded, the first event that we helped Playhouse 22 put on was the summer outdoor series, Footloose, in 2019. That was a 2-weekend outdoor event.
EBTV actually covered the event. Let's take a listen.
Playhouse 22, in coordination with the East Brunswick Arts Coalition and the Township of East Brunswick, staged its inaugural Summer Stage Under the Stars, an outdoor production of Footloose on the amphitheater stage at the Community Arts Center on July 25th, 26th, 27th, and the following weekend of August 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. More than 2,500 people came out to watch a cast of over 40 actors and actresses of all ages put on the musical version of the 1980s blockbuster that starred Kevin Bacon. Working with Mayor Brad Cohn and the Township's Department of Recreation and Parks, Playhouse 22 took an underutilized concrete stage and built an entire outdoor theatrical experience from new lights, sound, and a 2-story set. Be sure to check out playhouse22.org for more information and dates for upcoming productions. Let's check out some of the highlights, and congratulations to all involved with the successful production.
More recently, we helped fund the Theater Fest 2021 that was at the Community Arts Center, as well as with EB Arts Commission, the EB Indie Film Festival that had also taken place in August.
EBTV actually interviewed the festival directors Emily Eng and Kevin Lin on opening night.
Well, today is our first day of our Drive-In Film Festival, where we're showcasing the top 14 official selections of student films, ranging from high school students to college students and just above. And we're really excited to showcase maybe 7 of the films of each day.
So the films that you're going to see today range from short narratives to documentaries, animation, some experimental, just a really wide variety of different short films from a lot of different creatives that come from different kind of backgrounds.
The EB Indie Film Festival is always looking for volunteers and help. We've managed to get a lot of our good friends and to help watch all these short films with us, and we're really open for very open-minded and various backgrounds of people, and we always love the help and the volunteers. In the future, our long-term goal, we're trying to at least expand the film festival into more events, such as having workshops, panelists, guests as well, and our film festival is right now. It's just the core of it's just the start of our nonprofit organization.
Thank you to everyone who's come out to support us. It really means a lot to us.
And we hope to see you next year.
Something else that we've done is funded the East Brunswick Museum's Historic District sign that will be going up later, either fall or winter. Right now, there's an older sign. We wanted to update it a bit and start doing some programming and events down in the Historic District along with the museum and the Historic Society.
Where can people learn more about the coalition?
People can learn more about the coalition as well as the events that are offered by the 5 organizations on our website, www.ebarts.org. We also have an account on Instagram as well as Facebook. Facebook and Instagram are more active for up-to-date information on things that are coming up. The website pretty much is a culmination of all the current events, the future and past events that we've had. If anybody would like to volunteer or help sponsor or donate to us, that's where you'd be able to look.
Kim, thank you for helping us spotlight the East Brunswick Arts Coalition today.
Thanks for having me.
Today I am joined by Manny Alvarez, the president of the East Brunswick Historical Society. Welcome, Manny.
Hi, good morning.
Can you tell us about the Historical Society and how it was founded?
In the early 1970s, Estelle Goldsmith and Rose Sacco, 2 very active people in East Brunswick, spearheaded a more or less informal history club with Rose Sacco as president. The general purpose of the club was and continues to be to stimulate interest in local history and to protect sites and houses that have historical significance. In 1975, the club was incorporated in the state of New Jersey as the East Brunswick Historical Society with Estelle Goldsmith as president. The society eventually received a tax exemption as a 501c3 organization. And many township residents played an early role. Some well-known people like former Mayor Charles Sullivan, Grace Auer, Doris Fleming, just to name a few. We've had many supporters along the way, including the Laura Baum Agency, East Brunswick Women's Club, Bayless Incorporated, and more recently the Arts Coalition here in East Brunswick. Around 2007, the East Brunswick Township leased the old Smith farmhouse to the East Brunswick Historical Society. The house had been turned over to the township in 2000 by developer Matsell and Mumford, who acquired the farm to develop a housing project. We have our meetings there at the house and provide programs to the public as well. The society helped create the historic district of Old Bridge, which is now registered as a historic site at the state and national level. We spearheaded the creation of the East Brunswick Museum. We prepared an inventory of sites of historical value, and we played a role in creating the first historic district ordinance in Middlesex County, which was instrumental in the protection of historic structures in East Brunswick. We also prepared a history of East Brunswick for the bicentennial celebration of America in 1976, and then did a program in celebration of the 150th anniversary of East Brunswick Township in 2010. Along the way, we produced books on the mayors of East Brunswick, the Smith House, and remembrances of local World War II veterans. Just before the pandemic, we provided a well-attended program and presentation on the history of East Brunswick from pre-colonial days to the present, and reviewed plans for the future. I covered the pre-colonial and colonial era. Mark Nunstead, a well-known local historian, covered the history of East Brunswick to the present, and Mayor Brad Cohn reviewed plans for the future improvement and development of the township. One of our current projects is develop dossiers on houses that are on Schedule B of the township's historic code. So that's a little bit of the history of the society.
How is the Historical Society different from the museum?
Well, both organizations are committed to the history of East Brunswick and overlap to some extent, perhaps to a great extent. The museum serves mainly as a repository of historically important items, while the Historical Society is mainly focused on education and research.
What is something that people may not realize that is an important part of East Brunswick history?
Every community has a history, and history is not only national or world significant events, but it also is a town's own history of people, places, and events that these things that have contributed to a community's culture. For example, in East Brunswick, there have been some innovative farming techniques, such as those developed by George Smith of the Smith Apple Farm. East Brunswick provided much lumber, bricks, and food that helped other communities grow, and which mainly were shipped out from the Old Bridge section of town. People from East Brunswick have served the nation in all its wars. We have had and continue to have local artists and authors. On a more national level, East Brunswick played a role in the War for Independence. In 1777, Colonel John Nielsen led a regiment of the militia in an attack on Venice Island at the end of Schoolhouse Lane against a British detachment stationed there to provide surveillance of movement on the Raritan River. The battle contributed to hindering the movement of British supplies and drew the attention of George Washington when he was headquartered at Morristown. Presently, the Society is participating in efforts with an interstate group to memorialize the battle in site. Another current project is to memorialize Obadiah Norman, who served on Venice Island as a soldier in the Revolutionary War and who at one time owned the land that became the Smith Farm. So these are some things of importance.
How can people learn more about East Brunswick and the projects that you're doing to help raise awareness?
We have a website that provides information about the society as well as current and upcoming events. That's EB Historical Society at webs, webs.com. More information about the history of the town can also be found on eastbrunswick.org/402-history. Now, anyone can just enter East Brunswick in their computer browser, and these links will come up and they can be identified and accessed. We also encourage anyone who's interested in East Brunswick history or East Brunswick to join us, because members help plan and carry out events, and we sometimes visit historical sites in the area. Anyone who would be interested in joining us can call 732-249-7397. They can email me, Manny J. Alvarez at AOL.com, or drop a note to the East Brunswick Historical Society at Post Office Box 12, East Brunswick. Any of those would work.
Manny, thank you so much for helping us spotlight the East Brunswick Historical Society, East Brunswick history, and hopefully we'll be hearing more about things that you'll be doing soon.
Good to be with you.
Today, I am joined by Mavonia Caldwell and Reverend Karen G. Johnston of the Lost Souls Memorial Project. Welcome, Mavonia and Reverend Karen.
Thank you so much for having us.
Can you tell us about how the Lost Souls Memorial Project was founded?
Well, how about I jump in and just say that there have been people, including Mavonia Caldwell here on the podcast, who have been holding this history locally, as well as over the decades, there have been academic exploration of the history of the Van Wickle slave ring. But the Lost Souls Public Memorial Project was founded the year before the bicentennial of the slave ring, which happened in 1818. And it came together through public-spirited individuals and 3 local community organizations who felt this history cannot be forgotten. And those organizations are the New Brunswick chapter of the NAACP, which covers all the Brunswicks. It was the New Jersey chapter of the Afro-American Historical and Genealogical Society, and the Unitarian Society that's located in East Brunswick.
Can you tell us about the history of the project and its importance to East Brunswick, New Jersey, and overall American history?
It seems that our history is fraught with all kinds of voids and erasures. People don't typically know the full history of our country beyond a few recognizable memorials here and there. It is important that full history is known, the good, the bad, the ugly. We are attempting to share through the Lost Souls Project a view that tells what happened here to real people and to bring those people back from the slavery that they endured when transported to another state by the Van Wickle Ring. If we don't remember history, we repeat it, or sometimes we intensify its atrocities. So, this project hopes to have our town remember the 137 people who we can document as having been stolen from this community and to welcome them back, to say to their people, the people who descended from them, that they lived here, they were here, and they were more than slaves.
They were indeed members of our wider community, not just East Brunswick, not just Middlesex County. They were members. And then through the slave ring, they were kidnapped, stolen away into permanent slavery when they would have been free. Some of them were already free. And so it is our job to respond to those erasures, as Mavonia mentioned, and remember them home. And I think one of the most compelling experiences I've had being part of this project is in the first year, we knew of 85 lost souls, and they are women, children, men. And now, through diligent research that has deep integrity, we have, as Mavonia said, identified 137 at least. So this is history that is still unfolding, and it's our responsibility to make sure that we know as much as we can, because when we know better, we do better, as Maya Angelou has told us, and we are often reminded at the project.
What types of events does the Lost Souls Memorial Project hold around the community?
Our most important event is an event we hold at the end of May every year. It's a recitation of all the names that we have been able to gather. And we have done it in different places, but from now on, we hope to always do it at the site of the future memorial, which is in front of the Community Arts Center. We feel that we are stewards of the lost souls, making sure that they are remembered, their resilience is remembered. But we do it also to ensure that the community has a way to engage this history. While we can't make right the wrong that happened in 1818, we can do right today. And the recitation is one of those things that we do.
We are so excited to have the community engaging with us now. We have been in and around the East Brunswick Day recently. I had the opportunity to chat with members who did not know anything about the history. The most exciting piece of that is that young people are starting to know the history for which they will be responsible in their time. They are wanting to hear about this history in their schools, and we hope that that will be a possibility. They are wanting to be energized around making changes. So we're looking to be an intergenerational group. We have had scouts and high schoolers and parents and grandparents who care about what is happening. And that's how change happens. That's how unity happens. When everybody engages, becomes informed, and decides that they like to have a change.
So in November, we are looking forward to having an event with the Human Relations Council. It will be an online event. But we have been working with them as well, doing the 1818 Remembrance Zones, some of which you can see this month in the library display cases. The library has been a wonderful partner with us, hosting some of our best events and just making sure that the community can know about this. But we love that East Brunswick is learning more and more. And we just also want to say this was a Middlesex County judge who was the head of the statewide slave ring. This is important history for Middlesex County. It is important history for the state of New Jersey. The sitting governor at the time is implicated in the slave ring. It's history we need to know. And so we hope that more and more people throughout East Brunswick, Middlesex County, the Garden State, the nation come to know about this. And I'll just add one more thing, is that we were so pleased in February of 2020 to be highlighted in the New York Times Magazine's 1619 Project when they looked at different places where human beings were sold as slaves.
If people want to learn more or become involved in Lost Souls Memorial Project, where can they find more information?
We would point anyone who's interested in learning more about the project itself, the memorial, or becoming involved as a member of our group. We'd point them to our website, and Reverend Karen has that URL available for you. And we would be happy to add you to our mailing list and are interested in your ideas and your participation.
Yes, our website's URL is lostsoulsmemorialnj.org. So lostsoulsmemorialnj.org. And you can also find us on Instagram, on Twitter, and on Facebook.
Mavonia and Reverend Karen, thank you for helping us spotlight the Lost Souls Memorial Project.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you for joining us for today's episode. You can enjoy our previous episodes by subscribing now using your favorite podcasting app. To learn more about the East Brunswick Public Library, visit our website at www.ebpl.org.